I'm assuming it's not a track.
No, it's like Ava will like duplicate herself and she'll be on the content. That's the one I want to do.
How do you do those?
It's a overlay. But I don't want to have to overlay. And
So
there's
it's
two
just
of you,
us two.
so.
Or there could be 4 of us if we overlay.
Right. It's also going to be difficult to get off of like 4 of you on the screen. So one of you has to be the do and the don't. I feel like the one that requires more talking should be Joey. So Jason doesn't ramble.
Yeah. Did you start editing his content yet? Because you're gonna have a fun time editing that thing we recorded last week.
I literally have been avoiding it just for that reason.
I didn't receive any time limits or
The
time
reel is
restrictions.
a minute long.
I wish you would have clarified that for me.
No, it hasn't changed.
It could have. There could have been updates with the algorithm.
No, if our 15-second songs are doing well, we're trying to keep everything under a minute.
Agreed it is. We'll never know.
Bless you.
Land that I love, stand beside her.
So who's the first one that joins? I'm betting on Wade
I think Trace is going to show up today.
first.
Yep. I think this
Who
is
do you
gonna
got,
be a day
Gio?
where he catches up. I'm gonna wash my hat
Or Diana.
My hat's
Diane. Yeah, you.
You only get to
At
pick
that
one.
point, you just need to buy another hat.
That's usually what I do. I just
Yeah,
throw,
why would
I
you
just
wash
throw
your
them
hat?
away.
Cause like, what are those? The Amazon ones?
I just buy new packs.
They're like $10 a hat. It's not bad.
So I wonder if I have a. Yeah, it's too late now. Yeah, typically I just.
You know what I do? I convert on the inside of them with a Sharpie. I write down a W when they get like that, and they become workout hats.
I was literally just gonna say that's what I would typically
Because I can
do.
go to the gym and I can
Yeah.
sweat in it, and it'll like
Yeah.
it's already done for
But
it.
then I just stopped working out, so now they're just hats.
So yeah, there's that dilemma.
You're all wrong. It was me.
How much are meal preppers?
Like the subscriptions?
I want one that's like custom to me.
What
Yeah.
you want? No, what you actually want is a chef, and I also want one of those.
Can we have just a communal TZ one?
TC chef. We're gonna need a headquarters first.
How
No,
much
they
is-
just come cook at your kitchen.
We didn't determine what the prize was, so you get nothing.
There was no prize. listed.
But Gio guessed it right.
Aaron Geo guessed you would be the first one. Yep, there. See. Right. Well, no, it's too late. It's too late because you're already here. I was close. I guess Trace
Number
would be the
2,
first.
I was guessing Wade, but
I'm surprised Diana.
it's good to see you guys too.
Didn't pop in. The people pop on. We're like, I thought you were gonna be somebody else.
I thought you were gonna be Wade.
Wade who?
I don't know how to say his last name.
I'm thinking of a
The
different Wade.
Kingdom and Throne guy.
Wayne.
Oh, Wayne. Sorry.
Wish that was recorded.
This is why we wait the first 5 minutes.
Do you know anybody in our network? Oh yeah, there's Trad
Trey.
and there's Avon and there's
Welcome, Trey.
You know, it's funny because he
Abraham
knows
Shores.
like 98% of everybody's name, but not 100% of anybody's name. It's like you almost get there and then you mess it up. Wade.
There he is.
What up, what up, what up? Oh, yeah. Got a crew jumping on early today.
Sylvia Cantorwitz. Oh, wait, how do you say it?
Don't look at me.
How do you say it? How do you say it right?
I didn't attempt that. That was you. Hurt. She said that was hurtful. She's offended. Sylvia immediately logs off. Sylvia, have you considered doing what I did and just cut my name in half?
It just says, no. It just says,
Like, you could easily just pull off,
just says Sylvia can't.
like, can't. Canto.
I don't know if you want that to be your brand move.
Cantoro. Cantoro is kind of cool. Sylvia Cantoro. What is it? You're gonna have to Google it now. We've invested too much in this now. We're all interested.
It's Sylvia can, not can't. I mean, these are all viable options.
Sylvia?
I think we should look into it more.
I would never want to play Sylvia in Scrabble. I didn't even know that was a word. Yeah, did you do it? What? I give you the advice of a lifetime, and you just you don't even take it seriously. So you're telling me you went through with the degree? Wow.
And you're still here.
So you have a degree now? Wait, what? You're doing another degree? Oh, nice. Teachers College.
Well, you will have the spirit of the Anthem Network with you. You have our support.
Half the spirit will be reminding you to drop out. Half the spirit will be saying, you can do this. I will be the one, the little devil on the shoulder saying, you should drop out. This is useless. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here for you. We're here for you. You're welcome. Yep. Oh, we got more people jumping in. Hey, I think this is Taylor's first call. Welcome. And we got a few new faces in here. Is it Anjin? I think I'm saying that correctly. You have to correct me if I'm wrong there. We'll give it a couple more, maybe like another minute. We'll see who else pops in, and then we will get rolling. Said you're good. Okay, that means I was close. Where's your laptop today? What are you doing on the little iPad?
I'm doing work.
Doing work?
Doing work.
That's super vague. What about your Why can't you work on your
By
laptop?
work, I mean I'm joining the call.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Hello, world.
Just so Joey's joining just so he can start to DM everybody. That's what he was missing out on. Well, it is time. She was figuring stuff out back there. All right, we're going to jump on in and get started. Welcome all to another Tuesday night Q&A community call. If you are new to these, here's how they typically work. We're usually here hanging out for about 2 hours. You do not have to stick around for 2 hours if that is too long. Some of you got busy lives. That's cool too. But basically, these are just calls where you can hop on and ask us questions about music, your music career, the music industry, anything that you're going through. Typically, we're going to dive into whatever topics and questions come up. You're going to notice that there is a little chat box. If you're on mobile, you'll also see that on desktop as well. The little chat box is where you can start to drop your questions, comments, interactions as we're going. We might ask you guys, hey, comment yes or no if you agree, disagree, whatever. Like, we're going to get you involved a little bit. If we are on a topic that, we're busy with, but you have another topic or a question that you would like us to get to, drop it in the comment section, and then we're going to do our best to circle back to that thing. And if we get time, we'll do our best to get through everything. Apart from that, one update, if you want to throw me the screen, Gio. Today, Joey and I recorded through the music productions basics section of the Artist Basics course. And we will be getting those videos in probably this week. So if you don't know, the Artist Basics course right here, guys, man, it really is kind of just turning into the catch-all course where we're just adding as much as we can possibly put into there. For those of you who are newer on your artist career and are on that education plan, you'll have access to all that stuff. So you'll see that in about, I don't know, probably a week. Anything else exciting in the network that needs updating? I don't think so. A lot of good posts lately. So let's dive into it. Oh yeah, let's address the obvious thing right now, guys. Dolly Parton has passed away. Did any of you listen to her stuff or follow her much? I didn't really keep up much with Dolly.
Talk about
Rip to the
leveraging
queen.
revenue streams, dude.
What was her net worth?
I don't even know, but girl knew how to capitalize on everything.
For real. Guys, she's on the license plates.
She's on the
Here.
license plates in Tennessee. She's got Dolly World. She's got obviously her music career.
Trace said 450 mil. I'm honestly surprised it wasn't even like a billion. She did. She collabed with King Country.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Well, 650 on Google. Trace, you were 200 off. If you could give us some accurate data, that would be great.
That's the way to go, man. Like, she was pursuing her music to the day she died.
Yeah. Well, she opened up the Dolly's Travel Stop. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, the gas station. Mm-hmm.
Is that what it was called?
I forgot. She had the whole imagination library too, which I think.
Imagination library?
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up, but it had to do with books. She would send books to kids or something. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. Free kids book a month. Oh, was she in Hannah Montana too?
Yeah. She's Miley's godmother.
She's very close to Miley.
Because I remember seeing an interview of Miley actually being like, she's like my mom, or like my, I don't know. Yeah, like she's like, oh yeah, I always go to Dolly for anything, and she had the best advice for music and entertainment and stuff like that. Oh. She even wrote the song Whitney Houston made popular with I Will Always Love You. Really? That was Dolly? Oh, yeah. There you go. Alabama Google is different than Mississippi Google. That's why it was off by 200. That makes perfect sense. Well, rest in peace, Dolly. It's kind of a sad bar to start on. But
we were talking about, man, they're probably gonna shut down Nashville or something.
Oh yeah,
There's gonna be a big event in Nashville.
Because they'll do shows, guys, where they shut down Broadway, that whole downtown strip, and they just block it off, and the whole thing is filled up with people, and then the stage is all the way at the end. And we're like, it wouldn't shock me if they did something like that.
Yeah,
Or
I would
more,
imagine
I
they
don't
would
know.
shut down the whole
Throw a
the whole
parade.
Broadway for her and do like a
Yeah.
like a tribute.
Even like the Ryman. Yeah, you're right, Wayne. Like the Ryman. Or even a stadium. Like they could pack out a stadium.
I don't even think we know how much she like completely changed country music in Nashville. Like the sheer impact that she just had by herself.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I'm sure there will be some YouTube videos made, probably highlighting everything that she did. We'll have to stay up to date. Anyways, guys, on to your careers. How dare you, Sylvia? No, jump on in. It's all yours. Yeah. Can I ask you this? That duo that you're starting with your friend, so that is that's outside of Christian music. Yep. Right. That's just like general cover music. Do you guys have social media for that? Got you. Okay. Okay. So for those of you who haven't caught up on previous calls, Sylvia is doing her solo worship. Yeah, you're really focused on the worship, right? Like the worship side of things for Sylvia K. So she's doing a solo worship thing, and then she's also got a friend of hers that they're kind of like low-key dabbling in starting a more like a cover band outside of Christian music, more secular. So the question is, she's having an identity crisis, wondering, can she post content that isn't Christian music across her main brand that is Christian music? So that's a question, yeah? Okay. Well, social media. Yeah. Would it be across most things like TikTok to YouTube Shorts? Is basically everywhere. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I can give you the boring business version of that.
I know. I was trying to see if I could find a different angle, but I know exactly where I'm gonna head. Yeah.
Well, in the business world, when you're just getting started, you want to have one product, and they call it one product, one avatar. So one product, one audience member, that ideal person, that's your audience. Whatever you're trying to build to be your biggest thing. And while it may not hurt your social media, you might be attracting the wrong type of person for the product that you're ultimately trying to send people to. So like, I think it would be better to have your social media be all worship Christian music listeners, fans of you, because you know that audience is like pure in a way where it's like, you know, every single person would probably be interested in your music. But then if you have a random mainstream cover video that just goes viral, and then you triple your amount of followers, you're like, now who's my audience? And it can get confusing. The other thing too is like, you guys are also still choosing to spend time making that content and posting it, but would your music grow faster if you just use that time to just make more content of your music? So that's where my mind goes.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's kind of a boring answer.
It is.
And it's not very creative and fun.
but it's effective. Here's the thing. Joey pointed out a good point here. What is the end goal? So I know you're saying you enjoy doing non-Christian music, like non-worship covers. Totally get it. We like music that's outside of Christian music. But what's the goal of posting it then? If you know that if the thing blows up and goes viral, it's kind of working against your channel.
How,
Okay.
well, you did mention like country and folk. I would say that genre is the closest to Christian music. As far as
Specifically
like
country.
that has like the greatest hope of overlap of audience, people that like country folk, and then possibly some of those people might align with Christian music and listen to that. So I would say that's the safest genre that you could post about, because you'll probably still catch people that are also interested in Christian music.
Yeah. Do you remember our 70, 20, 10 rule that we talked about when it comes to social media? Wow, somebody wasn't paying attention on our calls. Kick her off. Next.
Get her out of here.
Next question.
I don't know.
So let me highlight that again. So the object of the 70, 20, 10 rule is this. 70% of the content is catering to the audience perfectly, your ideal avatar, as they say, your ideal follower, and it is fully in alignment with the direction of your brand, and it's like serving a purpose. Like it's stuff that does well that you can count on. 20% is, kind of the content. What do we say? It was like the content that's more for the fans, like less content that's for the masses, but more like for the real ones, like the real fans, to like give a side of your personality to like.
Yeah, it's the type of content, as soon as people start getting deeper and showing their personality, it's no longer like a viral kind of piece of content. It's more like of the authenticity thing, or where it's like the people that really want to hear from you are going to stick around. And it's not the type of posts that like are super shareable or viral or whatever like that.
And then the last 10% is what we'd call like moonshot content, where it's kind of out there. It's a new idea, a new concept. It might not hit at all. It might be great. It might crash and burn. But the idea is out of 100, so like 70, 20, 10 out of 100, meaning you would only be posting that type of content 1 out of like every 10 posts. So it's not the thing that you're relying on, and it's not necessarily getting in the way of the other stuff you're doing. It's just that, right? This extra thing.
The other thing to look at it, Sylvia, how many followers do you have on Instagram, for example? Could you imagine if you posted a mainstream cover, even if it was like straight up country, and it blew up, and now you went from 1,000 to 10,000 followers, but 9,000 of those followers came from a cover that had nothing to do with
You're a
Christian
country
music?
star now.
It's now you're at
You wouldn't
another
hate that.
crossroads where like, shoot, do I stay in Christian music or do I do something else? Like, do I make country folk music or whatever? Clearly.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the numbers can push you in different directions that you didn't want to go.
Because at the end of the day, the algorithms across the streaming platforms like Spotify, it's the same concept for what the social media platforms are doing. So, for example, Instagram, once you start to find your niche and get enough follower data built up, audience data, it knows who to start recommending your content to. So the only thing that I'm thinking of from like the standpoint of protecting the data is like Yeah, what would happen if you start doing a bunch of Christian music and then you start doing country, and then for some reason at this early stage country hits and that becomes the majority of your data? Is that going to feed the identity crisis a little bit more?
I mean, I would say it comes back down to now you're splitting your attention and your focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can say it because we've done it many times.
So many times.
And it's like the more times you split your focus and attention, even if it's just for different profiles. Now you're managing 2 profiles and 2 types of content and
different
2 audiences.
Passwords and different logins.
Different logins, like all of that stuff will wear down on you and will slow the growth of both of those things.
And if you're going to do both well, now you got to be posting the content across all platforms for both of those.
And then you'll be like, oh, am I posting consistently enough over here and then over here? And then it just grows into just a monster, 2 monsters that you have to feed.
Yeah. And we can tell you from our standpoint, again, it's looked like that for us starting new artist projects. Oh, Mass Anthem's taken off. Okay, now we're going to start Anthem Worship. Oh, Anthem Worship's taken off. Well, okay, now we got Anthem Worship Espanol because we want to do Spanish. Okay, well, now those 3 things are taken off. What if we had like a Hillsong Young and Free vibe? Like, well, okay, we'll call that Anthem X. Okay, so now we're going to start that one. Well, what if we had a worship instrumental? And guys, pretty soon we have 10 brands. Kid you not. It's absurd. And then it just hit us in the last year. We're like, dude, we are sucking it up on social media. We're doing terrible across all of our brands. And so we've been overhauling social media for all of our stuff. But guess what? To create content and post consistently every day for our brands and do it well across all platforms, we realized in the last 6 months, we're like, okay, we like all of this other stuff. For example, we started a non-Christian music brand that we're eventually going to be growing. So we're kind of experiencing a little bit of the same thing, Sylvia, that you are. And we started that last year, and we actually invested a lot of money in it and did projects and released projects or whatever. And then we learned another hard lesson. We're like, dude, we are out of our lane right now. And wouldn't it just be better for us to have 1 or 2 really successful main things than a few things, not really great, that don't allow us to have the impact that we want to have? It's like, if Mass Anthem and Anthem Worship hit the goals that we want them to hit, we will have margin and time to hire somebody to do the other things well, to make the other things possible at some point. But for now, we learned that lesson again. We're like, we gotta backpedal. We gotta hit pause. It's not a no. It's just like a not now, so that we can go all in on that. Because let me ask you this: would you rather have this? This might be a good question. Would you rather have an audience and a fan base that's kind of split, that's kind of growing and whatever, or would you rather be all in and for some reason have your worship thing completely take off to the point where it's like you can lock in and pretty much do that full time? Which one of those sounds more exciting to you? Yeah. Yeah, and that's brand coherence.
I could pretty much describe, based on our experience, the Sylvia K artist monster brand as it becomes more successful. It's like, okay, you have some consistency. Maybe you post once a day to your normal, just let's say pretend you have 1 account. You post once a day, and then you start getting traction, and then maybe your music starts growing even faster from the social media, and then from there, you're like, oh, I can actually put out more music now because my streaming's growing. Now I have more money to play with. And then you're like, okay, what if I release more music? Now that eats up more of your time to put out more music. But then you're like, okay, I have a handle on this daily thing. What about twice a day? And then you're like, I can't post twice a day. I need to bring in somebody to post for me. And then you raise the volume of post again, and then your music does even better.
Yeah.
And then you want to release more music, which eats up more of your time. And then you're like, okay, well, how do I pay this person to post 3 times a day? It just becomes like this monster. But by that point, you have so much stuff you got to worry about in order to execute everything well. And you're like, well, how do I make my releases perform better? This is where we're at with, it's like we can either release consistently on Spotify across 10 brands, or we could have a really solid pitch for Anthem Worship and lyric videos and full performance videos and tons of content and pre-save campaigns.
And all the assets.
And
the
all the
Loop community,
assets.
multi-tracks.
And the Loop community and the
songwriting
multi-track,
events.
like all of that has to fire out at the same time. But meanwhile, the strategy that got us up until this point was trying to release a song a week. It starts to break apart once you get to that point. And then you're like, well, now we want to do more originals. And it's like, that's a way longer time to get those songs written and then pick the best of those songs. So it's just like, it becomes chaos pretty quickly, especially like if it works, if your thing is working for you, it will become tougher and tougher to manage. And you won't really be able to do anything else if it's working for you. And so the problem is if you choose to split your attention now, it'll just grow slower. But then eventually it'll catch up to where it might take twice, 3, 4, 5 times as long for example, your Sylvia K to catch up as far as success wise. But then you're going to be at the same crossroads that you would normally be at, where you're like, okay, it doesn't make sense to post over here anymore. Even though I've been posting over here for so long, because now this thing is taking off. And then eventually you have to cut one of those things.
Yeah. Sylvia, do you remember our whole strategy, like the mindset behind why we use cover music to grow Spotify? Do you remember the concept? Yeah. It's that same thing. If you do a cover of a worship song that's big, you will attract more of that audience just by default. Like that's just the eyes and the ears that it will pull in. The same thing if you start covering songs outside of Christian music, you will just naturally start to pull eyes and ears and different interests of people, different avatars of people to that. And again, if there's one thing that we have learned from doing this a while and making a ton of mistakes, is that we wish we would have just picked our sound and picked our lane early on and done it and found a way to like still make sure we're getting fulfilled in that type of content. So I know you're like, oh, this is like my midlife crisis. Like this is a problem. I'm not sure what, like I want to do this type of content. Could you get the same amount of satisfaction from doing other content that pushes your brand coherently in the towards worship? Do you think? Or is this an ailment that can only be cured by covering the songs outside of Christian music? Yeah. 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 Yeah, man. So again, our perspective is whatever we're doing when we start a brand now, we want to 100% keep the content in alignment. That's just how we think now, especially. Here's the other thing too, guys. Once you're all in and you're paying for the Future FM subscriptions and you're paying for the Reply Rush setup and you have all that stuff set up and you're like doing a host of other stuff that we teach on, it's like a lot of work. Then you're like, if I finally get traction and I finally get something to hit, I want it to funnel through properly to all the other stuff that I just spent all this time and energy and money working on and setting up. So again, it's like, it's just that dilemma. It's like you're still building followers and a fan base, yes, but one of the issues that we ran into Mass Anthem early on was labels told us they didn't know who we were because we released music in different sounds and different genres so much that we wanted them to sign us, and they said, no, you don't know who you are. How would we sell you? Because we don't know who you are. So always, like, as an artist, you kind of do need to be thinking about yourself as a brand, as a business. It's like, do I know who I am? And am I like acting out who I know that I am in a way that if a partnership or an opportunity comes to me, they're not going to be repelled or turn me away because I've split my focus on too many things, or like have done too much that isn't sonically in alignment with my brand. That's how I'm thinking about it. So that's like the business entrepreneur side of me and Joey that are doing this. But of course, then there's like the artist side where you're like, yo, just let me sing a cover of a country song. Just let me cover a Dolly Parton song, please. Yeah. Listen, again, like I say, country, I would agree with you. I think country is the overlap for Christian music, like the first and the biggest. So if you're going to do something, you probably could do it there. And if you're like, well, I need to do this, you guys don't understand. It's eating me alive. I must do the content. Okay, well then maybe do the game of like 70, 20, 10. Maybe it's not the majority of your content. Maybe it's not even close to the majority of your content, but there's enough in there where every now and then you can scratch the itch, but it won't hopefully derail the data from the other stuff. Maybe there's a little compromise there. Yeah. She turns off her camera and just starts crying and yelling, Jason and Joey suck, Mom!
You're so mean.
They told me I can't do my thing.
I'm leaving a bad review.
She like pulls it down to 1 star. Sylvia.
Please.
Nobody joins our group ever again. Your name is by it, so yes, we will know. Does that set you at ease at all? Okay. That was a good question. I have a feeling more than just one artist in here is dealing with this. We'll catch up on these comments because there's quite a few.
I think we have a couple Christian country people in here right now. This is good.
And again, guys, Joey and I have learned the hard way that what you focus on is what grows. But the second, like, you start throwing one ball up in the air, guys, you can throw that ball really, really high and you can catch it every time because there's just one. And all of your focus and your attention is on that thing. But you start throwing 2 balls in the air and 3, well, now you're juggling. How high can you actually throw those, right? How fast can you go? You start to lose momentum. You start dropping balls. You start not posting everywhere all the time. And we've just learned, man, we'd rather have one thing that works. Yeah, maybe it doesn't necessarily scratch all the creative artist itches because we're creative too. Like there's stuff we want to do. There's business ideas that Joey and I have been wanting to do for years that we just have had to write down on a notepad and say the not yet list. We're not saying it's a no. We're going to get to this at some point. But right now, if we try to do this, this will derail everything else. And it is essentially the right thing at the wrong time, which means it's the wrong thing.
I will say, though, Sylvia, you've been a part of this group for a while. Do you feel bored in a way of like the stuff that you've been working on? Is there like a sense of boredom? Because you've been going hard. You've been doing this stuff. And like that's why we're like kind of digging in a little bit because we see what you're doing and you are following through. You are releasing the music. You are doing the content. Like you're doing the stuff. But I just want to hear from you first. Do you feel like it's getting not necessarily easier, but do you feel like there's like this sense of you're in a rhythm to where it's like it's almost becoming like boring in a way?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm prying into it is because from what we've known as like creatives wanting to change things up and like feeling like we need to do something new, anything that we've done to become successful, it's extremely boring.
Yo.
It's
Yo.
so
Y'all don't
boring.
even know.
Like-
well, yeah, you might. Some of
Like
you might.
success means doing the boring thing over and over and over and over
Dude.
again for a really long time. And the reason why a lot of artists are not successful is because they can't do
Boring.
the boring stuff. Like the thing is, like, it may feel new to you, like doing the content, like it's challenging. It's hard to like figure out like what your vibe is or like what angle you want to do and the edits and like the type of content. But it's like at every level you get into some sort of rhythm, and then it becomes like you get used to it. Like you want it to be like a little bit more difficult or exciting in a way, like fun and challenging. But like the challenge is doing it over and over for years. And like, I just, because we see what the inputs that you're putting in, and you're doing all of the right things. Like we see your guys' social medias and stuff. Like you're doing all of the right things. You're releasing the music. And I have a sense that you might be feeling soon that what you're doing is becoming boring, and it should feel like more like you're being like more successful. But like you are successful by following through with what you're doing. It just, I can get a sense of it, because I know for me many times a lot of this stuff is boring, and yeah, that's just what success feels like. It's kind of weird, but
That's not at all the answer she wanted to hear.
that's not the answer you want to hear. But yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then let me ask you this, because I know you started not in Christian music and then you changed to Christian music for this brand. Is there still a part of you that's now wanting to release non-Christian music and the non-worship music because you're so excited about this? Yeah. Okay. So now now we're like getting into the meat of this. So there's like two sides of you. If you're going to do it, our whole strategy is always going to be split profiles everywhere. Stream platforms, especially stream platforms. Like if you're going to be releasing worship music and Christian music on one, but you want to start doing like not that, new profile. Because that's going to mess up the data. That's going to mess up the algorithms. Like you don't want to mess those two things up. Mix those things together. But the same thing kind of happens again. It's like social media is going to be the same thing. It's like it is a new project, a new brand. So if you do feel like you really, really have to do it, personally in my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, because I know you're playing around with potentially that other project with your friend as well. It's like, and that's what I'm wondering, like, would the best move like be if you have to do this, would the best move be to take that content and put it under that new profile and start collecting everybody there? And every now and then you can make posts like, hey guys, if you want to hear my other stuff that isn't Christian music, like I'm doing that under this profile, and like you can kind of move and direct people to it. That's my thought. Again, it will be more work. It will be more setup. It will be other stuff, but that's kind of the price you pay when you aren't willing to go all in on one lane.
And he said it exactly. You're paying a price. And if you're willing to pay the price of creatively being in two different worlds and having to manage all of that, that's what it costs.
Because it costs your attention
It will cost your attention more than
and your
it.
energy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You'd probably first need to start by bullying her into joining the network.
Yeah.
And then Joey and I can put her in place.
put her in
We'll
her
check her. You will do this. You will join this duo cover band. Yeah. But again, that's just something to keep in mind, guys. Listen, we're all creatives here. We all want to be dabbling in different things. Know that you can. The power is in your hands. We're just trying to share lessons from mistakes that we have learned and how we've lost a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of momentum on stuff by spreading ourselves too thin. So just, you need to acknowledge the fact that it costs something. There's a price to pay for doubling yourself with another brand, for splitting yourself up, your attention, your focus. It costs something. So it isn't just, oh, I like doing this too, and I like doing this, and I like doing this, so I'm just going to do a little bit of all three. There's no harm in it. There is a cost. You just don't see it right away. It shows up months and years later when you realize you're not where you want to be. It's like a sneaky hidden cost. So that's just kind of the thing to keep in mind. So what do you think your if you have a solution is? What do you think you're leaning towards right now out of everything? Okay. Okay. Good. That's probably a smart move. So do that and then make a community post if you want to keep the conversation going. And maybe we can keep offering you some insight there. But yeah, that's typically our perspective. Hopefully that helped. That's a good question. Let's catch up on the comments here from everybody. Aaron, I see a lot of people covering popular worship music, but putting a "what if a worship artist sang ... on it." You could do that potentially. You know, take one of those songs that you like and try to see if you could put a worship twist on it. You get creative with the content.
I was thinking the flip side. You take a worship song and put a country twist on it.
Or you do, yeah, that'd be cool.
I would do the other way, make the sonic change, but keep the same Christian lyric.
And in that way, you're still. Well, there's an opening. There's a lane for that. Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is a lane for that. That wouldn't derail everything that she's been doing. It's just a slight pivot from what you're doing in the worship.
Because if you want... Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, this is the joys of the early days of starting your brand. It's kind of a blank canvas, which is wild because it can be so many things that it's difficult to lock in. So there's a good side and kind of like a negative side. Oh, all the creativity, yes, but also like, how do I choose? But then you can also say when you start to become an established artist, you're like, well, now you don't get all the options necessarily. You put yourself in a box intentionally. So now you have to choose to stay in that box and serve that audience that you're building.
At least from our experience and watching other like A-lister artists do it, eventually you have to figure out your sound and just clamp down really hard on it for a while and like hold to it. Like think about, and the other thing about branding is consistency. So brand is established by being consistent in a thing. Like once you figure it out, clamp down really hard on that sound until you absolutely pop off. Because if I were to compare for us, first when we clamped down on worship, everything took off for Mass Anthem.
It took a little time. It wasn't
time.
instant.
That's the thing. It's never instant, but over
that
the
move,
that move right there was a 3-year move, and then everything popped
and
off.
it started with this project where we finally said, "Nah, we're just doing it. We're just picking a lane. We're done. Like we're doing this until it works." And then this thing worked.
Whereas if you look at the A-listers in the Christian space, like Chris Tomlin, for example, went how many years before he did like a full-blown country album with like a collaboration album? Like Brandon Lake went how many years in worship before he like started branching out into country? And like even I would say, I don't know much about Ann Wilson, but I'm pretty sure she started mostly Christian, right? When she got signed, like it was like Christian music, and then she started branching out into like more mainstream country.
I have no idea. Mm-hmm.
But the lyrical content.
Yeah, but she was skating in that same direction.
Yeah.
From the start.
Whereas like if I look at somebody like Forrest Frank, I know what the song is going to sound like whenever he drops a new song. But that's the thing, like his fans do too, and they expect that. But the thing is like Forrest Frank is big enough now to where he can start branching out into other sounds. Like at this point, because he has such a fan base now.
But with Forrest, he's also a reverse example of this situation because he started not in Christian music. Surfaces blew up. That band that he was in, I mean, he's got songs with billions of streams. He became a very, very successful, wealthy man.
Did they sell all that and then he went Christian?
So
Did he, like,
no, they like had a split. So he was feeling called to get out of it. But like you'll see his journey, his come up was Surfaces only. He was all that. Non-Christian. It was just that brand, touring, whatever. They blew that thing up, became very successful. And then he's like, no, I'm feeling called to do Christian music. He made a complete cut of that. Stopped. Started over completely from scratch.
But the power of it, though, too, is
music.
when he bounced from Surfaces, he had the funding to do that.
And
like,
the skills.
He had
and the connections and the funding.
He could do it all over again, and he probably did it 10 times faster with exiting Surfaces and then doing Christian music.
And now he's all in on this thing. And he's not even...
The sound hasn't really changed. Like, I don't listen to Forrest Frank, but I respect that his audience knows exactly what he's going to put out, and they crave it, and they love his shows and all of that. Like, he's so dang dialed in.
Now that he's blown up so much, he has the ability and the opportunities to say, now I'm going to launch a side project now. It's, what is it called? The Party Wave? I think it's called Party Wave. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's a duo brand that he started with another guy completely outside of Christian music, but he just collaborated it because it doesn't matter. He's big enough that his fans love him for him, so now he can make that move. If he tried to make all of those moves and everything back when none of them were taking off and working, I would take a guess that he would not be where he is today, like with his brands and with his success. He was just really good at picking one thing and going all in on it. So that's the lesson that we're trying to convey here is you are more than welcome to do as many lanes, whatever, collaborate different ideas, types of content and all this stuff. You guys are welcome to do that. That's in your hands. Just know that there's a price to pay when it comes to your attention and your focus.
There's also another price too that we kind of mentioned it, we hinted at it, but we're not like anti-label or whatever. We were at the time when we got no's across the board. They told us straight up, they're like, you don't know who you are. Like you're in all of these different sounds. And the thing is like if the people that are in that, even other collaborators, like they can sense when you're scattered, basically, when you're split,
Yeah.
when you're serving two different sounds or profiles or brands or whatever. Like they can tell.
Masters.
I know we can tell. And so the people that are all in on their own thing may not want to collaborate with people who they sense are not all in on their own thing.
Yeah.
Because they know what it feels like to be divided. So that is another price.
Alex Hormozy had a video that I watched. I think it was last night. And he was basically talking about this idea of you always want what you don't have. He's like, oh, the single people want to be married. The married people dream about the time that they used to be single. And like the entrepreneurs are like, maybe I should just go get a stable 9-to-5 job. And the stable 9-to-5 people are like, I want more freedom. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own thing. The grass is always greener on the other side. And he was basically summing up this idea that optionality is only like, it's fun to have optionality, but until you actually choose one, it's kind of pointless. He's like, cool, you have all these options, but until you actually choose one of the options to go all in on, it's like, what's really the point of all the options if they're not like, I'd have to look at that again. But he was just kind of hitting home this fact that like, it's cool in a season to have options and see all these, but there does come a point where you have to pick one. Otherwise, having options isn't really valuable. If you don't ever really like go all in on one of the options that you have, the idea is that you pick the one that makes the most sense. And you could compare that to the artist journey. You're starting early. You have all these options. You have a blank canvas. It's your brand. You get to decide what this thing's going to be. But there's a certain amount of time where it's like, okay, it's time I pick one thing and go all in on it. And that was when we realized, this album was that realization for us was, oh, okay, we've been spinning our wheels for too long here. Yes, we have all these options, but we're finally just going to pick one thing. So maybe you're getting there. I don't know. Or maybe just this idea of you're starting to get good at your process and it's getting a little boring. Maybe it means it's like, I don't know, time to add in the next ball to juggle with that brand if it's getting boring or... Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'll say one more thing. As for example, as Anthem Worship gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we look for newer artists to eventually collaborate with and bring on and make deals with, we can tell you that the artists that we are looking at are the ones that have gone all in on the one thing. And if it came down to two artists and we look at their socials and their brand and we're like, this one is all in on worship music and this one is like 80% there, but then it's like they're doing this other side project and stuff like that, immediately we're going to know mentally where they're at. And we're going to be like, no, we're going to choose the one that's all in. It's like, these are the costs that can come that you don't see because you won't actually think it costs you anything because you just will never get an opportunity, perhaps. You'll just get passed. So you won't even know the opportunity was there. So. Nope, sorry, we're out of time. And
No.
you've used your credits. Where would we put Carrie Underwood? Mm-hmm.
Brand-wise, Carrie Underwood is country.
Yeah.
She is a Christian that is a country artist.
Yep. I wouldn't catch her singing a worship song. Everything she does is country. Could she now drop a worship album? Absolutely she could, because she might. She might. and she could pull that off now, but when I think of her, it's country. And that's the thing, is like she went all in, blew up. Now she has the margin to do that.
She could do whatever she wants now. Like
we need to
she's
get
an
her in the
icon.
network.
We need to get her.
Yeah,
Sylvia, hit her up.
Could you get Carrie in the network? I think this would be
Call
helpful.
her up, Sylvia.
Okay. Oh, good. She'll have her contact info.
I mean, look, I know you're a fan. Ella Langley. It's like she had a whole thing where she had a come to Jesus moment on her tour, but she's brand wise, she's a country artist. It's like she could be a Christian, but
Yeah.
her brand is very much country.
You can be a Christian doing country, worship Christian music. That's like overtly Christian, doing Christian music. You know?
I think it really comes down to the messaging of your music.
Yeah.
What is the messaging of your lyrics? We'll determine that.
Yep. No, this is a good topic. Jacob says, I don't know if this is a good idea, but I have thought about doing another completely different music streaming service that I don't usually release on for songs that may not be inherently Christian or covers, like a SoundCloud. You could. Jacob, I just challenge you to think through that process of what is that costing you? Doing all the work to do something like that to then not grow the main thing. It's like, it's like you totally can. In my opinion, it's like I just know releasing music and doing these projects and everything, how much time and energy and effort it takes to do that. And then to release something knowing that the intention is to not be known for it, to only choose a SoundCloud as opposed to put it everywhere. That just kind of seems probably not like the best aim and use of limited time and energy and bandwidth. Does that kind of resonate? Oh, nice. Yeah. 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 I just know that's so much work. Like, do you want the thing to make money? Would you like that project to like be heard by a lot of people and potentially make money to pay for more projects and stuff? Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's just keeping in mind a yes to something is always going to be a no to something else. So if that yes is something that is is not fully in alignment with where you're headed, that is now a no to the things that are taking you fully in alignment, thus slowing you down. So that's what it comes down to. And again, like guys, we're not trying to like rain on everybody's creative parades here. We love creativity. We're all about it. We've just experienced too many errors on our part of overly creative decisions that just spread us way too thin, and we're like, this is not working anymore.
Go Go for it.
Yeah. At the very least, if you can turn that into a content or something that still gets released under your brands, at least it's not a net loss now. You know, at least you can start skating in a similar direction as opposed to like a 180. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of the stuff that we say here is with kind of the assumption that you guys want to be able to cover your living expenses, right? Like you guys want to like do your artist thing as
Let's
like a
take a poll here.
like you
Drop
guys
in
like
the
do you guys
comments.
like want to make money and like pay your rent and all this stuff?
How many of you would like to be making a full-time income from your music career? Yes or no in the comments.
Is that like
Let's
I
see
know
what we
this is
got.
like a lot of you guys like this is like a ministry or whatever, but like
Yeah. Yes.
you guys
yes,
have living
yes,
expenses
yes.
no matter what. So at the very least, we want to help you solve that. And sometimes we have to be very honest because we know how much work it takes to get to that point.
Yeah. So like if that is your ultimate goal, that is where we're speaking from.
Like throw all of the stuff that's a distraction out the window. Like you have to drill deeply into one thing for a long time for that to happen correctly. Anything else that is a distraction will not contribute to that.
Yeah. And here's another question too for those of you that answered yes, yeah, I would like to be making a full-time income. Do you feel like all of your actions and all of your energy is aiming towards that goal under one brand, that one singular thing, or do you feel like you're spread a little too thin? That's a more complicated response that I'll check back in on.
I will say the last thing that we want to do to you guys in this network is for you to wake up 2 years from now and be in the same spot that you're in and be like, Joey and Jason weren't honest with me. Like
It's their fault.
This is their fault. They didn't tell me. They didn't look me in the camera lens and tell me what's what. So that's what we're trying to do.
I want to keep going down this list quick. I'm kind of in the same boat. Love Christian music and country. This from Taylor. I am CCM, but would love to one day do Christian country as well. Okay. I think are you pretty early into your releases, Taylor? Is she still on?
Still on.
Oh, are you muted? Let's see. It might be on her end. Hello? No. Okay. Well, you keep working on that. We'll circle back. Yep. Feel free to just keep trying until it goes through. Here's a good one. I think Nick D told Connor Price to go away from cover songs to his original music because the fact cover songs don't really grow your audience opposed to original songs where Connor Price really grew up. So it's funny. This is actually, Anjan, a good thing that we can quick speak on because you will notice in this community, we talk a lot about cover songs, releasing cover songs, especially in Christian music, in worship music. Like this by the way was a cover album. It's done almost 200 million streams and blew up our platforms and allowed us to do music full time. The difference was Connor wasn't doing like releasing cover music. If I remember, because I've been following that guy since pretty close to day one, and he wasn't like putting them on the stream platforms. He was doing a lot of content around it. But also his genre is interesting because he's absolutely not a cover artist, And yeah, Nick, I do remember Nick telling him to back away from the cover content. He would also like put verses onto other people's songs that already exist and like that type of thing. And Nick basically just said like, bro, go all in on your music. So I don't think I would write off cover music, doing cover songs just from that. That was a great move for him. But also we can show you in Christian music and worship music, covering the biggest songs. It's a big opportunity.
And again, partially, if we're looking at it through the lens of covering your living expenses, that is the fastest way to do that in Christian music. For us, that's what we've seen.
Yeah.
That is the fastest way to do that.
If you can build, there's a strategy to it, but there's a huge upside to that, specifically in Christian and in worship. Jacob, I've seen some Christian artists like Zach Williams do a full album of Christian country songs, and then he may have one song that is a cover of a country song. Yeah, I mean, again, Zach Williams is Zach Williams. You drop Chainbreaker that breaks the world in half. The thing was everywhere. Like Chainbreaker is everywhere
for years on radio.
Years, and he's still. We know his manager Ryan, and we just know that thing was that was a monster. So he can basically do whatever the heck he wants at this point. If he wants to pull that off, he can. Like
he said, like, again, looking at it through that song, quite literally retired him.
Oh yeah.
Like
one song.
That song is like probably generational wealth that he got. And the thing is, like, all of his expenses were covered. Like he can be as creative as he wants, and there's no risk at all. Like he can just do whatever creative thing he feels like.
What we're trying to help you guys is to get to that point. And if you don't have one song that pops off, or for some reason you're in a spot where the money doesn't matter anymore for your living expenses, you're in a different ballgame, right? Then you have some different options. But for those of you that are like, oh no, I have to go work these other jobs and like do this other stuff, like that's where we were when we got started. So we approach it from the mindset of like, oh, this has to work. So we're teaching from a framework. It's like you're gonna have to get out of survival before you can get to that point of really getting to pursue all these creative avenues. You were successful by following through. Joey Popoff. That was Annie.
I want that as a t-shirt, Annie.
Yeah,
please.
I was just thinking that could be a t-shirt.
Please put it on a coffee mug.
Taylor, if you release CCM but want to re-release a Christian country album, would that be close enough, or would you still need a different profile? CCM and Christian country to me is close. That to me overlaps really well. Christian country, Christian contemporary, those are super close.
I would say CCM sits in between worship and Christian country.
Mm-hmm.
Worship is in the other direction.
Yeah. I think more often I see Carrie Underwood do more collabs with Christian artists on songs of theirs more than she does Christian songs on her own. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. And the funny thing is, too, is like with her being in country and country being an overlap, there is kind of a motivation, I would assume, for bigger Christian artists to collab, because then they're also getting access to a new Christian audience that they haven't tapped into yet.
So I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but we talked about like the country is adjacent to Christian. A lot of time, and the pool is smaller. The pool of listeners is smaller. So what ends up happening is they start Christian and then they outgrow the Christian audience. They're literally the top in Christian music. Their next pool that they hop to is country. That's the next. And so I could see that move by Christian labels trying to get a Christian country artist like Carrie Underwood to collab with their artists. They're trying to get them out of the CCM pool into the country world. That's the marketing move.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what kind of deal they're giving her. Probably a really great one.
She's big. Taylor, is your mic still struggling? Still, okay. What you could do, Taylor, is you could pull up your phone, hop on the school app on your phone, and then you can go live through your phone. You just won't get a great view of us. It'll split us, and you'll see our knees and just the background. But usually the mic won't have any issues going straight through your phone. So if you need to do that, you have that option. Jacob, in a lot of ways, my music that I release is a ministry, helps my ministry at church, and I believe God has called me to do it. Along with this, though, I would love to make a living doing this. It is a dream job. Yeah. And it's this balance game early on. You're like, oh man, I want to be doing it takes an entirely different game plan to be able to lock in on something to get this one thing to work over a long period of time when the goal is to be able to do that thing full time. And that is the only strategy that we have learned that works, is picking a target and not stopping until you hit the target.
And that's the thing we've noticed too. It was never an overnight, I'm quitting everything. And we wake up one day and we're like artists, like full time making money from it. It's like all of these micro decisions and saying no to things over 5-6 years and making the right decision to maybe make less money for that job over there to put more time into the music, even though the music is like we're barely getting by. And then eventually that time shifts to where eventually you wake up, but it's like little by little, hour by hour, no by no over 6 years for us. And so a lot of times, like, you have to build that out. Like, for example, I have a different school group for worship guitar players, and I probably spend
Shameless plug.
5 days a week on that, 4 days a week. And it's like, if I wanted to get it down to 2 days a week, I have to sit down and figure that out. Like, I'm not going to wake up one day and just all of a sudden be working on that group 2 days a week. So you have to look at what has to happen in order for that thing to stay afloat, or at least achieve the next level.
Anjin, thanks for your perspective. Nice to see a different angle. It's talking about the cover songs. Jacob, I did not realize Chainbreaker made over 121 million streams on Spotify. Yeah, and dude, that's just Spotify. Like a song like that, you know, that thing ripped on Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon Music. Go look up the YouTube videos on that. I'm sure they're insane. It was also all over radio. CCLI are a whole new beast when we're talking about income. Like, that retired him like immediately. And then his kids and probably their kids. Like, that changed the game. So yeah, he's got some freedom there. Wayne, we've been performing some of my songs in my church band, and they've been well received, so I know I'm on the right path. Nice. I just need to get more songs released. I currently only have 3. Yep. Getting to those first 10 songs is usually a big marker. Yeah, and the thing too is you're definitely not the only artist kind of in that situation, Wayne, where it's there's so many things that we're giving you guys for strategies and like things to put into motion. But if you dive into the release, can you throw me the screen a second, Gio? If you go into the artist basics and you go into the release strategy spot, and we dive into like our basic strategies when it comes to releasing, you're going to notice that one of the main things that we focus on is like, okay, how quickly and effectively can you get to having 10 great songs released? Because something changes the game when you can get to 10. But then it's like, okay, well, getting to 10 is great, but now it's funding 10 songs, finding the time, writing all the things, like the production, the marketing, all that stuff on top of all this other stuff that we're giving you. It's like kind of this game, right? Of like, hurry up and get there, and but at the same time, do all this other stuff. So I don't really know what else to give you. Wayne, what do you feel like's the biggest kind of holdup for you? Or like the biggest obstacle to getting to 10 right now? I'm just curious what your workflow looks like. Okay. Yep. That looks like a. Yeah. 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 Oh, that's the dilemma. I mean, okay, so you've got 3 songs out. When you talk about marketing, what specifically are you talking about? What type of marketing? Like growing playlists? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Well,
Are you making a pretty good profit on shows? Because I know you guys are touring a lot, right?
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if there is an investment that we really like, it's buying production equipment to be able to produce yourself. Because that immediately is a payoff if you think about the money you would pay a producer. We were yeah.
Yeah.
Bingo. Bingo. We were just recording a call today for the production course talking about literally this of man, if funding is an issue, guys, if you guys need to release more music, you basically have 2 problems to solve. It's either a skills problem or it is a funding problem. You either need the skills to do what Wayne is talking about and start to learn how to produce your own demos and mixes and get better and better to the point where you can create a song on your own that might be a B, maybe a B plus, and then you pay somebody to come in at the end on the mix and the master to turn it into an A plus. That's one move. Otherwise, you got to learn how to get the funding, right? You got to learn how to make the money. And now that's its whole other thing. That's why we have a course. If you want to throw me the screen, Joe, that's why we made this course right out of the gate. How to fund your music career. Because early in the day, that was the issue that Joey and I ran into. So again, like we kind of solved that problem first by learning to produce ourselves, like learning to produce as much as we could ourselves to get production as low as possible to release more music so that we could take that money we saved and dump it into marketing and start learning marketing. That was one avenue. And then the second avenue that we realized for funding was, we've done the Kickstarters, Mass Anthem had done the Kickstarters, had done all that stuff. And now we're like, we'd rather just provide more value to the world and make services, and we'll raise money in that way. And then we'll use that to pay for stuff. So that's how we have been doing things.
Wayne, how close are you to getting your studio finished? Because it sounds like there's kind of an end date on that before you can really get rolling on the recording.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's one of those situations where like you take 2 steps back and then to take 10 steps forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
20 steps forward.
100%. It's a detour. He's basically just like taking a roundabout detour a little bit.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like this is for everybody too. I know Kayla's got a question about demos. We actually, that's in the,
Yeah, I'll show you that once we
but
scroll down a little bit.
at the very minimum as a vocalist, you should learn how to track your own vocals, comp your own vocals, and get it to a point where it's good enough for you as the vocalist and for the people that you can send your vocals to. Because if you can provide some of the work, this is what he was talking about bringing your skills to the table. You could save some money on the production costs by chipping in and recording your vocals and comping them and doing those tasks, and you can get lower rates.
Yep. Yeah, so Wayne, I really like this. I just know it's super frustrating being in that season where you're like, bro, let me hit the gas. But also you're like, I can't hit the gas because I have to go do this. There's stuff that Joey and I, like, just from our company standpoint of stuff that we're wanting to do as well. But it's to give you guys some perspective, like we wanted to go all in on writers events last year, but then we realized, oh, we're not ready. We have to grow the network first to a certain point to be able to do all this other stuff. So we had to take 2 steps back, invest into all of this stuff, get all the, like, there's more equipment in front of us that like than you would believe. And all that is investment in time and reworking our team. And it's like, it feels like steps back and it's really frustrating, but it steps back so that we can like hop on a rocket ship and go forward faster. That's how we're looking at it. Let's see who else we got here. Ryan, are you able to drop your question in the chat? Sweet. And then we'll circle back. Is that cool? Can't tell if he said. Yeah, drop it in the chat if you can. We're going to try to finish out. I'm going to try to get through a few of these other questions in line with this topic first. Personal problem is I don't super make churchy music. I'm in a bit of a strange indie singer-songwriter space that feels very non-financial potential. The interesting thing, though, is, Adlith, I know, like, your goal isn't necessarily to be doing music full-time, so you're kind of in a space of your own where you're not wanting to make a full-time, like, living from the music. That being said, these strategies still do apply. It's just you've kind of got more freedom than most, if that's the situation. Sucks to suck.
I am who I am.
Yeah. Kayla said, would you guys be willing to share how you fund your songs? Yeah. Presently or early stages? What are you talking? You can turn on your mic too if you'd like.
Right now.
Yep. Nice. Screen me, Geo. Yeah. We've got something that might help you. In the Artist Basics course, why does that take so long? In the Music Productions Basics section, early on, we actually went through and we interviewed and did live walkthroughs with Eleni, Kagan, and Jay, all seeing how they handle demos. and how they create their demos in Logic Pro. That might be helpful for you. Now, they aren't like the most step-by-step, like first start here and then go here and then go here. Eventually, we do want to get to the point where we have a production section in the network for that. But this is a great way to get you started, at least just to see how other people are approaching demos. Some of them give templates, and like a lot of them are using just free everything within Logic. That's typically the platform that a lot of us use. That's like the most affordable. But there's some really good stuff in there for you. And it's, do you play like piano, or do you play guitar, or do you play any instruments or anything like that? Okay.
Cool.
Have you ever recorded yourself playing guitar onto like a Logic or a DAW is what we call it? And that'll work too. Like
if you're familiar with GarageBand, then Logic is the step up from that.
And like you don't technically have to go buy Logic if you don't want to. Do you know what's funny? Ben, lead singer of a band called Citizen Way, he was the professor at our college. But back in the day, he told me he fully produced and released his first album through GarageBand with all free plugins, just to show everybody that he could. It's like, you can actually do a lot of high quality stuff through GarageBand. So I'd recommend giving that a shot and just seeing, early on is like, can you get really good at like playing guitar on rhythm and learning how to make edits to the guitar? If you can get good at that, then the next stage is, okay, can you do that and add a vocal over the top? It's like, those are the two main things. And it's like, if you can do that, now you can start dreaming up your songs and starting to like slowly add layer by layer. So this isn't like this isn't going to be the thing where you're like, I want it now. I want the thing now. I want the skill now. This is a long-term play, building the skill, practicing it, putting in your many, many hours of work to get what we call dangerous. Just, enough to be dangerous. Great question, though. Yeah, we got lots of comments. Good interacting, everybody. This is great. I did watch it. Side note, I did watch some of the videos on CCM and how it came to be that we talked about last week. Great series with Jonathan Allen Wright. Oh, dude, yeah. His content is so good. He hooked me real quick on his videos. Y'all should. No, the pace is insane. Like his formula for his YouTube videos, phenomenal. Guys, go look at Jonathan Allen Wright. He's been doing a lot of series on like the Christian music industry and breaking down how things work, and it's pretty cool. We'll just say that. Adlith said she was going to try to get him in the network. Is he playing hard to get? Lock in Jonathan. Okay, sweet. Kayla. Come on, Jonathan. Kayla, do you guys have a really simple course on how to make your own demos? Yep. Oh, okay. So you did watch the one with Eleni, but I was super confused. Yeah. So that's the thing. Those demo courses, they're not great beginner. They're kind of like, if you've already been dabbling, you're going to see different ways to do it. That would be a good thing for us to eventually get to, is to get one of our producers to
from scratch
make us something, like a complete demo from scratch. It's on the radar. This is a great example of something that is on our to-do list, but it's not quite yet on the priority list that's high enough to take away from some of the other stuff that we're building right now. But we will be getting to that.
What did we say about focus being split? Our focus is split.
We're just using that lesson as a
reminder to ourselves.
No, I was going to say as an excuse to not do anything.
Oh.
We're like, nope, sorry guys, attention split, can't do it.
Juggling too much.
Yeah. Aaron said, Kayla, Lenny's demo process was super helpful. It is under the classroom section. Annie said, I think Adlith could make a good profit from doing celebrity lookalike assignments. What? I don't
Do you
even
care to respond?
know what's going on there. Oh. Does Annie have blue hair? Maybe it's the blue window behind you reflecting. You agree that you do have blue hair or no? No. Okay.
I never can tell. Is that a real window? Like, is it actually sunny by you right now? It's like dark here. It is sunny by you. Great state of Utah.
Utah. Tim, Splice was a recent game changer for me with demos. In the last 1 month, it has changed my life. Yeah. You're going to hear that's the theme of the 3 demo walkthroughs that we have in the production course section in the Artist Basics. They all mention Splice. Everybody's like, yo, get Splice. It's a game changer. So, no surprise there. Kayla, they're also... Neither. Neither
Splice,
or neither.
I don't know. Splice is a royalty-free subscription to where producers upload loops and all sorts of sound effects and all that stuff. You can literally just download it and drop it into your project, and you can export it, upload it.
Any of you ever listened to a little artist named John Bellion? Anybody ever heard him?
He's still getting started.
He's early on in his career, but he's got this song called like "I'm a Kid Again," whatever that's called. That guitar part, that is a Splice sample that he just pulled and chopped it up a little bit and tuned it, and that's like the whole song is built around that thing. He pulled that off Splice. It's crazy. So, Splice is actually pretty affordable too. Like it's pretty darn affordable. Tim Robinson, funding. I have a specific amount of money that splits off from my checks, and then I invest heavily in relationships with producers. A relationship will get you the biggest discount on a recording long term. What does that mean when you say you invest heavily in relationships?
I think he takes them on
producers?
vacation.
You take them out for dinners?
Like a cruise? We're talking about like taking producers out on a cruise?
Wine and dine the producers? Is he still on?
I want to go on a cruise. Take us.
Oh, he might not be on anymore.
He might be.
Oh, no, he is.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah, we can hear you. Sound like you were doing some push-ups. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I'm glad you brought that up because I know a lot of these conversations that we're bringing up, guys, it's like we are always approaching a lot of this stuff from the business side of things because that is what we deal with a lot. And that's like how most things operate. But he's right in the fact that at the end of the day, relationships are huge. Like they are key. We have artists that we've worked with that for some reason they have relationships with some of the biggest writers in Christian music. And they're like, they'll even tell you, I don't know why they're friends with us, but they see something in us and they're always down to write with us and help make us better. And it's like, it doesn't make sense financially in that relationship arrangement with the give and the take, but the relationship is there. Yeah, there's also this aspect for, man, you become friends with producers. Like, the same thing is like for Joey and myself too. Like, yeah, there's some people that we're friends with that, you know, we give opportunities to just because we're close, we're in proximity, and we just enjoy people, right? Like that does change the game a lot. So yeah, good on you, Tim. It's just, is that a game that you can focus only on playing? No, I would say that has to run parallel with you also doing some research and finding producers and kind of spending some time trying out producers and paying for production, while at the same time laying the foundation of like good healthy relationships. That's a great move. That's probably spot on.
Yeah. All right. Wayne, I have 2 bands and a job, so all my available money goes back into production equipment. Nice. Kayla, you can get very specific and search for making demos with the same equipment that you have. Super helpful.
Russ was Russ saying this on his interview, his latest interview with Daniel Wall. It's like, dude, it has less to do with the equipment. Whatever equipment you have, just learn how to do the thing with that equipment. Don't make necessarily leveling up. Like if you're gonna go all in, like again, here's an example. Like Wayne's like, no, I'm doing this. I'm going all in. Heck yeah, man, more power to you. And if like you have the opportunity to invest in that stuff and make it happen, awesome. But for those of you that don't have any funding to invest in that equipment, but you do have a few things, learn to just be as good as you can possibly get with those things. And then you slowly outgrow them. You slowly level up from there. Oh, I like Alex's. Anyone have a situation where a relationship with a distributor is a game changer for them, or has it become like AT&T and Comcast? Alex, what could you possibly mean by has it become like AT&T and Comcast?
My distributor keeps calling me and asking me to bundle my internet and my phone.
They won't fix my Wi-Fi. They won't help me. We can hear you. Is this AT&T?
They're listening.
I think I have AT&T. Yeah. Lance, was he with Lance Dreamlance? Is that his new one that he started? Is that under Provident? Was that under Provident or Centricity? I thought yeah, but I thought his distribution was using the distribution. Yeah. Okay, so he's running it separate. He's not even going through one of the big dogs now. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 So, for those of you who don't know, by the way, Alex has been in the music industry, the Christian music industry, for a long time. He spent many years at Integrity. Man, too long. He spent a lot of years at Integrity, and now he is. What's your position at Near Kingdom Records? Everything. Yeah. I've never heard of that position. me and Steve.
What's your title?
What's-
I work with Steve.
I work. I do. Like, who is Steve? Oh, this mysterious Steve. So they're launching like a. It's earlier. You're probably like a year and a half in since that thing. Yeah. Yep. It's like a service. Yeah. 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 And so basically what he's saying, guys, is he's worked with a lot of distributors and he's just wondering if any of them are actually a game changer as opposed to, how do we say this nicely? Talking a big game and just doing the same thing everybody else is doing. Oh yeah, we can get you the connections, we've got the relationships, we got that stuff. Because similar to you, dude, we have worked with a lot of distributors, like a lot. We're on our, we're now releasing stuff with our fourth. Our catalog is spread across 4 distributors, and what we have learned is, you kind of can't just take everybody at their word. The only way to really do it is to test them out with a song or two, and see if they can actually do what they say they can do. Same. Yep. Okay. Wow. Well, we'll see how this one goes, and I might have to hit up Lance after this. Everybody reach out to Lance right now. Just to be clear who the roach is.
No, we're going to let Lance guess.
The roach? Bro, he's He said the Roach. I don't know his name. He's the Roach. Trace says there's a lot of wisdom in there. Yeah, Trace, wisdom to the moon. Lots of wisdom.
I want to go back to Ryan David. He dropped his question in here. So he's
Okay.
low key in an identity crisis as an artist in terms of all these years being a street evangelical rapper to now trying to find my message and aim in this spot of my life. Ryan David. He's one.
That was a good guess, though. I mean,
Would anybody else like to guess?
does anybody else know another David that they would
Sure.
like to take a stab at?
Does anybody else know another Ryan?
Like
Take
a Ryan,
guess?
I guess Ryan David.
No. Any idea on how to lock in?
Wait, okay, wait. Read it one more time.
Why don't I have you elaborate, Ryan?
Yeah, jump in here, Ryan. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Sweet. Is this more of a branding? Is this more of like a branding conversation?
It sounds like. Who are you trying to reach? Like who is that person? At least the direction you're going into.
If you had to create your avatar, is what
if
we
you were
call it.
if the direction you're headed, who is that? What is that person like? Yeah.
So, just to clarify, what do you feel is the biggest dilemma here with all this? Like, is it more? Do you feel like everything is connecting, or not connecting great in your brand, or is it more of like a personal feeling, a personal identity issue that you don't maybe feel like things are? What would yeah. When you say solidified though, because I mean that's kind of subjective. It can kind of mean anything to anybody. Like what is that? Like what is the dream outcome, I guess? If you could say 2 years from now, wow, I put in the work, this stuff worked out, and now I'm living the dream. Like what is that? Like crystal clear. Like what is it that you're doing with your brand and everything? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like what you're after is this whole concept of 1,000 true fans, like people that actually want to show up and get involved and buy the stuff and like, yeah, be behind you. Joey, how do you go about getting 1,000 true fans today?
Is this a quiz for me?
Just bouncing it off, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, um, I'm curious to know how honest you are to your fans or to your followers on social media, because there definitely is a deep passion and a story there. I don't know how much of it you're capturing that, because you mentioned like the whole outcast theme, and I can't remember if you said that you felt like that or you just have a passion for it. But if you felt like that, then you have the conviction to do that, and that's what I would probably lean into more. And The one thing that I notice, I think about the hip hop genre is like it's still very much alive where like people are fans of the artist. Like they're fans of you. And like they're like cult like followings. And I think the way to do that, obviously you have to be consistent on releasing music, but the social media element and being very honest about that and being honest about struggles is just a completely different angle that I don't know. I don't think a lot of artists, Christian artists, have done or even can do. Like a worship artist, like everything is awesome, everything's perfect. You know, it's that's kind of the sound. But you have an opportunity to capture a different angle or hit it from a different angle.
Like a rawness, a realness.
Yeah,
But
it's like the more real you are, the more authentic your fan base is going to be. I think.
Can I ask you this? Yeah. Jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I would almost go at a different angle.
There was a nugget. There was a nugget there. Yeah.
Where like
Yeah.
I would be curious if because it's very much a part of you, deep you and your brand, where it's like I would love to see you just go daily posting the most raw, almost unedited, unedited. You just riffing to the camera about what you're thinking, what's going on,
dude.
And
1,000%.
you can turn that into its own series, like daily. Be like, all right, come back tomorrow. I'm gonna have something new for you tomorrow. Like I'm gonna check back in, and like you can really build a fan base that way. And that's something where I don't know if a lot of artists really have that opportunity.
Dude, here's the thing: social media, it's moving in this direction. We talked about it on the last call, but everything's moving towards the trust economy, the authenticity economy, with the fact that everything can feel so fake on social media. And bro, I'm telling you, there's something that happens when you just put up a camera and you start to put out the most consistent and authentic content about what you're going through. Yeah, your music might tie into it sometimes it might not. But if you're trying to make a fan base, 1,000 true fans want to show up for you, they got to get to know you. You know, so the question is, have you been showing up consistently across social media? I'm talking posting daily, not missing once for a year. Have you ever gotten close to something like that or even thought about attempting something like that before? Okay.
And the thing is, like, you obviously, it sounds like you have a lot to say. Like, I don't want to see the most polished thing. Like, it's literally you at some point every day grabbing your phone, talking to the camera, hitting post. Like the most like firing from the hip type of raw, authentic content. I think your audience would build very quickly that way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know
I think
anybody
there's
else.
a lot you can do.
I don't know nobody else doing something
you
like
are
that.
in a part that is like, I would say, untapped by certain artists.
Yeah.
Like personalities, especially experience. Like not a lot of people have the experience that you have and the perspective that you have.
But dude, if you want the results of a movement, right, which is kind of what you're talking about, you want a movement. You want people showing up. You want people, more importantly, like the reason they would be showing up is because they would be showing up for you. Because they like what you're saying. They want to be in proximity to you in person this time instead of through a screen. Well, to do that, dude, you gotta, what is the rule? It's like 7-Eleven for the amount of touch points. It's like 7 hours across 11 different formats at like 4 different times. I forget what that is.
The main concept for everybody, and this works for every artist, the more time people spend with you, the more they'll trust you and the more they'll like you and the more they'll like want to vouch for you, all of that stuff.
That's it.
Whenever you drop a new song or whatever. And honestly, the fastest way you can do that is live streaming with your audience and spending unedited time with them. But the other thing though too is before that, find a daily thing that you can do and post that, even though it's like raw and unedited, it's not necessarily live streaming, but it seems like you have an opportunity to kind of document your thoughts.
It's documenting your life. That's what it is. And there's something that happens when you don't think of it like content, because a lot of us, we release songs and then we think, how do we make content around the song to promote the song? But from this perspective, dude, you're literally documenting your journey and your life and what you're trying to do. So there is no right answer. There is no right marketing answer here, because you are trying to get people to get to know you enough to trust what you're saying and then want to show up. And that's how a movement starts. So for you, dude, I would challenge you. It's like, okay, if that's the type of impact you're wanting, have you been showing up in a way to inspire that type of movement and impact? And have you been doing it consistently long enough to deserve that type of movement behind you? Yeah, dude. No, that was a good one, man.
Yeah.
That was a heater. Well, guys, there's a lot more comments, but I think we're gonna end it there. We're a few minutes over tonight, but tell you what, shout out to all you guys. Really
Great questions.
solid questions and participation
fun.
tonight. Fire. If there was not a question that got answered that you wanted to see an answer for, please go ahead, make that a community post in the community section, or you can save it for next week. Either or. And reminder, if you're getting value out of the network, use your affiliate link. Invite a friend. They might get some value out of the network too. That being said, we will. What'd you say,
What
Alex?
did he say?
Yeah, tell them Roach sent you to the network. That'll get them. That'll convert. All right, guys. Peace, love. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central. Once again. Till then, see you later. Hit the music.
See you guys.